Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 Seattle, Washington, 98133. Some of those ugly guys down there were just talking about murder and rape. The ugly thing he looks like a Manson family reject. He lives near the garbage on my floor. And the other ugly thing, he's golfing. I think it's a symbol. But the ugly thing was talking about, she's going to scream, and they might listen to her. And so this one also is a rapist. I don't think he's just golfing. I think he's making a symbol. He might be. The thing in blue, he actually, I was here for about 3 days, and my popped open, and I heard his apartment close when I had set up. The other ugly thing is drunk already. It's 8:20 in the morning, and the dirty of the Seattle Police Department have promoted this excrement, as normal people if they do crimes for them. The black might be a child molester from what I hear. They're all child molesters pretty much. They're and Zetas. And do you see how diminished the Seattle Police Department will protect them? There's actually been skulking around. His name is Dr. Jeff. He's here on Wednesdays, and last were here, and 2 security guards were here portraying that they could do a false arrest, and but they went on with no money. You marry the relationship is nil, and it's been like that since since someone popped open my door too, and I used and so they're threatening to. Let me read some of the threats, or just kind of remember them. There's a threat to saw through the walls by Wednesday. I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133 in Unit 329. And last night, the dirty cops that were here from the Seattle Police Department, and then 2 dirty security guards that are black Nazis, they were going to pull a false arrest scheme. First of all, the security guards don't work for this building. We don't have like a hired cop. And then there was also Dr. Jaffe skulking around, and an alleged nurse that comes to this building. She's red-haired. By the way, these are Bloods and Zetas of their connections to diseases that the gang members will spread around your apartment or put in your water or, food or dwelling or wherever. And those are all psychotic individuals. And by the way, one of the dirty cops last night said that I had actually chopped him up in the tub. He said sacrificed. And then today, one of the bums in they're hanging out in an empty janitor's room, allegedly empty. They're hanging out in an allegedly empty janitor's room. One of the slime balls is trying to talk to me, and nobody wants to talk to these things. They're all grotesque, hideous horrors. Now, a lot of people were threatening me from this direction that live on this side, and they also have visitors on this side. And of course, I'd hear them because the windows. Yesterday, there was a transgender named Rose, and she was trying to set me up because there were males here that were threatening me with slavery and rape, etc. And then I told them to shut the F up, pretty much. And so she tried to portray that it was me causing a disturbance. So Rose, the transgender, needs to be watched, apparently, while 6 psychotic gang members. That's basically all. I didn't want to start the oven yet. I wanted you to hear and see these retards. An idea. So definitely they're rapists, they're murderers, they're in on drugging people, they're in on white slavery or other slavery. It's not just whites. And they're in, there's a bum threatening me about a whore here named Maria. And it's an ugly whore with sort of pale skin and black hair, and she looks like a fly. And she has a lot of black hair. She's not pretty. She wears glasses, but she looks like a retarded hooker, basically. So they threatened me with slavery for her, and told the soldiers that if these people have to threaten people for slavery, then they're too retarded. Now I'm going to turn on the oven. Of course, it makes the And so last night, nobody would show their badges, and they also had an ambulance ready to go. And so the janitor's room, when I go out of this place, which, by the way, they're trying to impede me from going. There's a and I can't really show you the bathroom because the bums haven't fixed the light. It's been about 3 weeks. I don't have a light in the bathroom. I don't have shades. They've come in a couple times and said that they didn't have the right measurements, and then knocked over stuff like my cross, or knocked over my onto my notebook. But that was the most productive thing they did. They're too busy doing gang crimes to fix anything here. 07 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington 98133, and there's a bum that's inebriated saying she needs to be obedient. By the way, I went to Green Lake and Safeway yesterday. Safeway first, and then Green Lake, and that's in Seattle. And Safeway, it was Brooklyn Safeway, and I ended up recording some people in the Safeway, which is a public area, and they had actually threatened me. It was a couple groups of people, including an ugly guy who was tall with dark hair, short hair, deficient looking, and beard, and he said, someday we're all going to sacrifice you. I woke up 13 years ago and everybody was an evil Satanist, druggy gang member, basically. And then mouthed off some more and talked about shooting, and so he was broadcasted. He was a young male, and he was in the Europe. And then I was at Green Lake, and there were a bunch of freaks as well, including, one man who thought he'd be very rich if he kidnapped me. And then he was white, and he was large, and he was with, I think, a woman with boobs. And they were in a park bench farther away. And then there was a creepy guy with a dog that had a black lab, and he was connected to this place. And then, and there's a bum playing moderate. And by the way, so this place is under illegal surveillance. And one of the goals of the black Nazi maggot morons is to rule the world, and they want to have people under illegal surveillance in their houses or apartments, and then it gets even worse. So they want utter enslavement of the U.S. and also Europe. And so I haven't been saying, I guess maybe, I assume everybody's a zombie, but just note that these Bloods and Zetas have also threatened, and one of the whores just said every state in the union. And where's the whore located? She's actually located in the janitor's room that should be empty behind my kitchen sink. I don't even know. So this stuff on my table, I have to carry it because if I don't, the gang members like to come in and touch everything with, even the women will smear things with vaginal fluid, and the men will smear things or ejaculate onto your things. And yesterday, even though I locked up my suitcase, and one of the persons here, and they all have lock breaking kits, I'm sure, where they'll pop your locks with a pin into a good master lock, a small one, and a larger one. All they have to do is follow you to the store, find out what lock you got, and then they pick it up, or what lock you get, and they follow you to the store, figure out which one you get, and then they also could buy 10 master locks just like these, and then they'd have, one of them's playing Picks on Children. So one of the dirty bums, by the way, he was chanting baby killer. Lisa Guthrie's a baby killer. And that is how sometimes the dirty black stinky Nazis get a hold of people. And evidently someone taught them if they hide their racism and wrap it up, and they're able to scream racism, then they can practically commit any crime against a victim. And then the gang members use them. They love black Nazis and Hispanic Nazis because they themselves will be the witnesses against the victim, and nobody will listen. So one of the is calling me a baby killer. And murdered some people is to portray that those people are actually killers or child molesters. And I can't tell you how many times I've been followed around by people from sexoffender.org that are child molesters portraying themselves as police. And so the dirty secret is the Seattle Police Department is running the gangs. And the dirty cop that was here last night was a creep that tried to arrest me about 2.5 years ago because I wouldn't be a prostitute. And then 13 years ago, I was gang raped at Tri-Court by and with another dirty cop of the Seattle Police Department. He comes here, he's older now. He was sort of built like, I believe I saw him one night sneaking around with the gang members, like leading them. And he was built like sort of, I saw brownish hair. It looked like it may have had a wave or some body at least. One of the bums is threatening me. It's possibly security guard hanging out in the janitor's room right now. I'm talking about past and present. So I try to keep those who know what I'm talking about. So last night there was an illegal plot to play commit and arrest, and this was amidst rape threats, mutilation threats, illegal operation threats, etc. And extortion threats, and the ugly black Nazi was playing Mary and children. So the dirty, ugly black Nazi bitches and to, quote, marry people to plump up their coffers and have like illegal breeding programs. These people are also in on snuff movies, torture, including a long drawn out snuff movie where it could take 13 years of hunting an innocent victim down, including by promoting social causes, by stating that the victim is a racist. The victim was leaving pretty much everybody alone, except in my case I reported possible meth lab activity to the dirty cop, and so he had me gang raped, and they even put posters and videos out of me as an alleged prostitute, sleeping with her sons, and I was unconscious. What they do, enter, if they can't enter through a door or window, they can get to your landlord to get the keys. They'll just coerce, force, or bribe, or even sneak. They'll have their own keys. Like you see those people with a lot of keys dangling from their belts? Well, they have those keys. They have masters. I mean, all you have to do is look at a lock. A lock announces what brand it is. So I could go and I could say, that's a master lock on the door, and that's a Chateau on the deadbolt. Well, I'm going to go and check out the hard in the way of master keys, or how many brands of Chateau and how many brands of master lock, and I'm going to take an exact picture with a serial number. Which serial number fits which tumbler or lock, So how do I get in? I've locked myself out. Or you go to your friend, the dirty locksmith. Also want to punish you. They thought it was brilliant. The Seattle Police Department's in on this. It happened everywhere I move. They'll literally give your keys out. There's a foreplay punish you. She said something's happening to everyone who punishes you. Indeed, because I'm an innocent person. But by the way, these are all zombie Satanists. And they put a curse on me as if I were Satan. And they put curses on the entire U.S. and their ancestors because of what they did. So we hear about Muslims doing this, Muslims doing this. It's been mostly Caucasians or that have done things to me. We hear, this is Lisa Guthrie at 10507 Aurora Avenue, North Seattle, Washington, 98133. We hear about Muslims doing this or that. I can't tell you what the future holds right now in regard to Muslims fighting us or whatever, and I'm not really that concerned. Why? Does that mean there's not a threat from some country? No, but I'm talking about what's happened to me, and I'm concerned more about England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, and Europe, and Russia, and the Ukraine, and the Semitic peoples themselves that the U.S. people have threatened continuously. Remember, there are some Muslim, Semites, most of them. You can be Asian or white. It doesn't, so, I'm commenting, it sounds ignorant almost, but I'm not trying to offend anyone. But I'm mostly concerned about the homeland terrorism, and most of it has been white or other or black Nazi that I've seen. And it could be a white moron that's in with black Nazis, and she just is in with the black Nazi. She doesn't care, or he doesn't care. It could be other. Why? Because they're getting money. They're getting property. So they don't care about destroying other countries. So I'm not worried about these people anyway. I'm more worried about, and there's a whore, she's still chanting Maria this, Maria that. And so the whores think they're going to have a slave. And she doesn't realize how much in danger she is. And see, this is a building, and I was their possession or out the window. I'm not going to be a slave, and that's legal. And you say, well, that's destruction of property. For being a slave, even if I have to bulldoze somewhere, I'm going to do it. So let's say someone takes me out to their farm and they have a bulldozer. Well, I'm going to crank that bulldozer up. I'll get the gas out, load her up if it doesn't have gas in it, or the car, and I'm going to drive it through their fucking house. I'm going to go, it doesn't matter if it's cafe, I'm going to drive a car through the fucking windows. So these bums have threatened me with slavery, including the black Nazis, and he's acting like he's a cop, but what the dumb shits don't realize is that just because somebody is a cop doesn't mean they're legally allowed to do crimes. And so, me with glass. Yesterday, one of the ugly bums that was affiliated with this building, first there was an ugly black man, and he knew I would be stubborn and resistant to any assault. And then there was an ugly white kid, looked like a dead guy, like 20s, and he made a symbol with his fingers, like this, like from the nose. He meant, I'm going to break her nose. And he walked up to me, and he was very close to assaulting me. He knew I'd punch him back or kick him or something. He knew I was ready. And he approached me, though there was room. He got probably within, I'd say, 1.5 feet. And when there's a lot of sidewalk, and he kept going, see, there was no reason to approach me. None. So, and there's a bum talking about heroin or hair lip. And so there's a constant plot to render a victim recognizable before, during, and after death. My handprint again, which my hand is trying to clean. Retardos was chanting over and over. And by the way, there was a retarded, probably one of the black Nazis or the other shit asses. And they have too much information, because I don't sit around talking about my mother. He used my mother's name, and he said, Betty, she had acne or something like for 18 years. 17, 18 years. And then one was in the shower chanting that I was a baby killer. And then one last night was chanting that I was a prostitute and that they were trying to help me. So the gang members will pretend that they're your father, your mother, your lover. They have special knowledge of you. They'll even stick you with a hypodermic needle in public or private and wheel you off, and suddenly they're your devoted brother or your devoted nurse's aide. And so, and there's a whore playing, you're going to take me shopping games. And so the dirty whores are pretending that I'd go shopping. They tried to run a scam when I was home all day Saturday, if you can call this wretched place home. And the whores and the bums, she's threatening that I won't leave, by the way. And she's got a... I think it's an ugly whore that's a Native American hideous thing. She thinks she's cute. She's about 5'4". And so what you do is you look at the windows that are open. Who's committing the crimes? And the whore's claiming that I'd go shopping with her. It's probably also a threat because they want to have people under captivity that is what they call loose captivity. I might have thought of they've used it, because I was talking about it, but loose captivity where, I don't know if they called it that, is what I'm saying, but they've called it since then, where they're not very intelligent people. They wanted to have people go out in public and they're poisoned or they're enslaved, they're drugged, and they're apparently working and they're fine, but maybe they're giving up all of their paycheck. Maybe they're going from house to house to be a slave. So before the commitment threats, and remember, they never showed up with a badge last night. And they had an ambulance, I heard, making a whooping noise. So I don't know if they were here to kidnap me or for someone else. And one of the whores is yapping, and I guarantee she's not going to get a slave because I'm going to get committed and arrested, and I'll ruin the place. The whores playing antiques. The gang members will fabricate anything. The junk in your apartment, your dirty clothes even, supposedly theirs. Is it theirs? No. Even the camping equipment's not theirs. The man, this came with this furniture, which some people don't have issues here anymore. The water's toxic, and they sit behind the sink and the tub, and I could run the water all day, but then they start ejaculating, urinating, or putting tampons in it, and so I've gotten to a habit now where, and I think my nails look grimy because I can't, I don't sit and wash. I should dig in the soap when I'm in the shower, but I wash with the rubbing alcohol for hands. And I use a lot of wipes, and I have to use wipes. These Bloods and Zetas on fecal, urine, any disease-carrying method, and they'll also walk around with disease sample from their nurse friends. One of the whores is actually clanking chains in there. That's this. This is making a noise. They're clanking chains in there. And that's a hooker. Or, smelling a bad smell. She might be a nurse that's in on narcotics, is what I'm hearing. Then they all have drug connections, poisoning connections. They're in on identity theft, big. They render you unrecognizable before, during, and after. There are actually a lot of missing Americans, but I'll tell you why I'm not concerned as much with the missing Americans. I'm more concerned with them if it was pre-13 or 12 years ago, pre-zombie, pre-Satanist. Then I'm concerned, but if it's a missing European or British person, I'm more concerned, or Irish person. Or, could be also one of my other favorites. I'd be more concerned. So it might be someone from Russia, and I'd be concerned. Otherwise, I'm just not concerned about Americans because I woke up, everybody was a decaying zombie. Now, there are 2 more face cuts, like I said, because even if you have your suitcase locked up, they will break in your suitcases. And these are Bloods, Zetas, and they link with Asian street gangs. Occasionally they link with the one that's got an M and then numbers. And including up north, I've seen the ones that are M and they link with the numbers. Go to hell, you ugly stinking whore. Wretched bitch, shut up. You're a stinking whore. You have nothing to say. You're a retarded harlot. You're a harlot. And now, I'm pulling something out of my bag. I don't come back and wash my refrigerator every morning, but because they've used it as a place to put filth and toxins, I have to wash. I put it in a bag overnight, which still isn't safe. There's, spots at the top that don't seal. And one of the whores is making decrees. And a whore just decreed you may never wash again. You just try and stop me, you ugly bitch. And I guarantee you're going to be pretty sorry. So there's a retard. Oh, and the whore, one of the whores is calling herself an angel. So they all put a curse on me, portraying me as Satan. They also put a curse on my favorites, including history, including my favorite countries, including for all people to hate me. But you realize after a while, everybody in the U.S. is a dirty, decaying zombie shithead with no brain. Their brains were dead for 13, 12 minutes. So, you know, everybody calling you ugly after they've scratched you. And you realize, too, here, I took pictures of them. Did they look better looking for scratching me? No, they're ugly, and a lot of them only have a year or two left before they die. They're addicts. And, you know, there's a lot of deaths in this building and in the system, and you want those deaths. We should be grateful to God when they die. So now I'm taking out, apartment has been entered, it's protein stuff. I have to wash that. There's a whore plate dominating. Shut the hell up, bitch. I want you to personally come up to me and tell me I'm not going to wash. I want you to see what happens. That sounds fun, doesn't it? Now, you might say, ooh, you're threatening. Like with the people that are hanging out, let me show you where they're threatening me from. Okay. So it's not very, that's a hallway, that first window. Most people wouldn't be hanging out there. There was a weird reflection. It was probably has a crawl space, because I'm not kidding you, sound was transmitted. Stretches around the closet. The janitor's room. Now here it's too thin, so there's no janitor's room. And then, like I said, there's no light in the bathroom, so you're not really able to see the bathroom. But the janitor's room goes from, there's a wall, this wall, this other wall, like I showed you here, it's too thin. But there's some toilet, and they probably dug, now it's too thin here, but there's some possible crawl space activity here. Oops, it's pretty dark there. And so they stand and masturbate into the water and also proclaim that they have dumped radiation in the water. So I started to play the Lisa's Crazy and Frantic as I take samples of the water, ready to go in case I feel faint or especially survival of the shitty on in the U.S. where the retarded black Nazis got everything. The cars, the meth heads with the 10 kids, they got everything. Ugly, dirty sluts, retards. So 7 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 133. And I'm in Unit 329. I was discussing how bombs had hidden. They had hidden last night, and they were playing arrest. I'm opening my protein milk in case you're wondering why I'm making a funny noise. Retarded gang members have threatened my protein milk. What did that mean? Because I take it with me? Well, got tampering. They threatened tampering, which has happened before. To tell you they're going to tamper with the whole chicken section, and they're into resealing, and there's gang activity, by the way, at Safeway where I go, activity at Roosevelt, like a paramilitary movement, which I believe it can a lot well, it connects, but there's a set of routes along East Lake have a building for drunks. And they're drunks to be in jail, or that's a DSC anyway. And you've got these paramilitary, and then they go to the recovery cafe, and they're alcoholics. And the dreadful secret is America will cover up your mental illness. You can be stark raving mad, but if you do crimes for these people, like the cop, or if you do crimes, then they will actually cover up for you. They might rescue you. You'll probably get the best food. And what I was hitting on, because I was concerned about people that are pre-zombie, including in the U.S. And pre-zombie and nice people that disappear. Now, I'm not concerned about the visible humans of the last 13 years very much. Concerned about people who might have disappeared, say 13 years ago. A lot of missing people in the U.S. because Satan got them. I think there's a lot of missing, not just Europeans and Britons, but and Irish, but there are also probably missing. There are other people as well, I'm sure, like Russians or who. But there are some missing Americans that were, have lived here their whole lives. And I think hundreds. So I'm concerned with these zombies. And the people that were Europeans, once it's a zombie, it's pretty well gone. And the zombie retards, and now what happened is also tried to program, and the crack horse did too. So you've got black Nazis that are morons that program, and they don't. And I'm going to blame, because they mess around with paranormal too, and blaming the bankruptcy countries, including the European Union. A lot of it I'm going to blame on retarded programming people. And I'm going to blame the Muslim culture on Americans messing around and bringing in the devil. So I'm going to blame the American. And by the way, a lot of people connect with ISIS, whether it's loose. Some of them actually will talk about ISIS and promote them. And remember, people are some of the favorites. And as good looks, I'm sorry, the Middle Easterners, including the Jews, they're one of the best looking people I've ever seen in my life. But remember, English, Scottish, Irish, and Welsh. Europeans, they're at my top. And Russians, Ukrainians, well, the semi. But anyway, so for using AI to reprogram someone, what are you going to? You're going to get a moron. A black Nazi reprogramming someone, including a turd bag security that's an extortionist murderer. He's in on snuff movie. The black Nazis here have also bragged about killing kids, and then deserve. I don't know how old of a kid they were, and also you realize any person who's in a gang and they're connecting with kids. What are they doing? And they've been in high schools. They're trying to, what is that called? It's something about a minor. Contributing to the delinquency of a minor, injuring a minor. They're also converting minors in our country into bastards that are connected to movies and child molestation rings. A bastard trying to put out a social cause and pretend I'm a child killer, when in reality he's a child. And the security guard or the cop, they're connected with 3 child murders or disappearances at least. At the very least. And there were also rapes of the missing Europeans and British, and allegedly a couple of them had babies. They were forced by the Mongoloids to have babies, and those babies were sold. Now, I don't worry about half Mongol babies. If it's the daughter or a black Nazi, it's a Mongoloid. If it's the daughter or son of a crack whore, it's gone anyway. So anything, they're spawn of Satan anyway. Anyone spawned by any American last 13 years, it is what it is. It's a coffin spawn. So I'm only concerned with victims that went through that, not about the coffin birth sperm of a Mongoloid. So black Nazis are trying to force themselves on people, and it's on a scale here, like in this building, they're trying culture where everybody, they just let people have sex, which is rape. And these are all bums and retards. And a couple of these black Nazis have AIDS, and a couple retards here have herpes colors. One has hepatitis, and one's playing already spread out where they and they come in. They'll try anything to say rape you. We already raped you in your sleep 13 years ago, 10 years ago. We're going to rape you. So spread your legs for us because you're already a prostitute, basically, according to them. No. They're playing finish up, and I'm going to have you finish. And what you're going to notice is, like the bum in the wall, he's making rape threats, and you notice, even if they say, well, I'm a cop. Well, if you start to call ATF or 911 to film 911's response, they're going to get very nervous. Just like the horse rattling chains in the wall, right? Very nervous if you call 911. So they'll probably try to grab me. The building reject retard already has put is walking abreast an ugly little bat named Daniel. It looks like black Nazi Mongoloid thing and Daniel are both undesirables. Daniel has greasy hair. He looks like a little vampire. They're both retarded shit addicts and nobody wants them. And the black Mongoloid thing, he deals pot or whatever. I don't know what else. I don't buy any drugs, so I don't know. And I've smoked marijuana, and I've had liquor. I've never injected myself, but all of these people have tried to force me onto them, and so the gang members will actually commit a crime using the crime they will commit against you to accuse you. So let's say with my scratches, and another one is making orders from his or where he's at an apartment. You can't hear it very well, and then you can hear bums behind me. They're playing force and abortion. So what they want to do, they'll accuse you of being a slut or their girlfriend. So if they can get an abortion going even, or force you to have a baby, then they can prove that you're with an ugly black Nazi Mongoloid. Or, that you like those parts. If they can, then they can also say you're a prostitute. And the sad thing is, when I was gang raped, I was celibate for quite a few years. I would go through years where I didn't drink or smoke. I was never an alcoholic. And the gang rapist, bum here, the dirty cop, the fat ass, he's a fat ass old man. By the way, he's the one who claimed that I cut him up in the tub or sacrificed him in the tub last night. And then he was walking around talking about that. He said, you just sacrificed me in the tub. He's a cop for the Seattle Police Department. It's Seattle's finest police. We need Homeland Security to come in and rid the world of these black Nazi and other scum. Just get rid of the zombies, lock them up, and I would euthanize them, or just leave them in a town lock up town to town, remove the valuables, and see, the black Nazis want to do that to normal people. And so you'll also, as I'm talking, you'll have the zombies portraying themselves as good people, and just, they need to just get rid of these people. Am I threatening them? No, because I'm not government. These other people don't know they're not government. They don't know they're not police. And the Seattle Police Department treated them as police. And then bomb ensuring, they spout the same shit over and over. They're like an evil toy or a Furby. It basically says the same shit over and over and over, and like, you will do this. And one of the earmarks of the zombie is that they are trying constantly to dominate. They will try, every part of the zombie is that they will try to dominate, and they are retarded. That's why I don't have any kind of respect for them. They're retarded. They're all retarded. Nazis. One's talking about a mule, I think. It's hard to hear because I've got the fan on. And so they've threatened me to run packages. The Seattle Police Department guy, he has threatened to have me do crimes. So they're in on crimes. It's Seattle policemen that are involved. Also, dirty security tards that think they are police. They think they're FBI. Then you've got people in the network like dirty, fake and real postmen. You've got dirty, fake and real medical, including nurses and doctors. Then you've got, we've even got people practicing out of their scope in medical that think they can act as a nurse, like from the 50s. You've seen those 50s shows where they come to commit someone, and it's a dirty retard, smelly hooker that's gotten her smelly hooker they've gotten her an education, and she's had a little bit of training because she's a smelly hooker with 10 ugly mongoloid children. So, you know, she goes through the medical program pretty easily sometimes. So all that shit about single mother and doesn't do this, well, these bums have a lot of support. And by the way, the social services are set up so that the smelly hookers and the black Nazis get the most. And they don't want you to say a word if someone's telling you they're going to mug you, because they're in on it. I volunteered at Elizabeth Gregory. I've gone to them. I obviously didn't want to move my storage here, and I've been here about 3 years, because there are thieves. And one of the whores is talking about hurting me and scouring me up. What these people are also in on with the Seattle Police Department, they'll wash you up after you're raped or murdered. So they'll even curl your hair and put on makeup, so that maybe they'll dye your hair too, so that you're not recognized. Seattle Police Department is linking to lots of it. So you've got Officer Bobby of the West Precinct. You've got the scummy shit ass. His name is maybe David or something, but it starts possibly with a C, the last name. Possibly. And, and let's show the kind of lock they've gotten in to my suits, because there's definite glass that fell out. Master lock. There's a bulbous-headed white man, and he's not the only one. He bragged that he has house-breaking equipment. Then he would brag, from one of their rooms, or walking by, or sitting in the janitor's room, about putting semen in and everything. And then they would call me a whore after they'd ejaculated on everything. The management let them. The management will, and once you piss off a Seattle Police Department person or that is protecting the gang members, you will have probably trouble for the rest of your life. And mine has been a long, drawn-out snuff movie, and they'll take illegal surveillance of you being tortured. They want you to be stuck in your apartment sick, where you're drinking the semen-laden water, and everybody will tell you you're crazy. Because they're all crazy zombies. They're inducted. They want to capture your death throes on camera Somebody is paying for it. The security guard is connecting, allegedly, which I believe, to because her husband is a thief, her ex-husband now. He is a thief. He's a black Nazi. The black Nazis aren't very smart. They're Mongoloids, and just like a lot of the gang members, most of them. And remember, their brains were dead for 13 minutes. And so they like to steal via illegal surveillance. With you've got a very, when they're playing head injury and attacking. So they will and one of the bums is chanting in the, behind the janitor's room, you're going to have your knees up. He means having, being raped by the gang members. And they're playing jumping in. You're not going to have anything. One of the whores is threatening me with Issaquah, I think. And Issaquah, see, that's too. And I'll tell you what they do with the information. One of the ugly, stinky, smelly black Nazis was bragging, the whole universe has your information. Well, the thing, all the black Nazis and all the gang members are lying. They'll actually take your information. The police department taught them a lot of tricks, which, see, they love military, they love law enforcement, they love government at all, like the postman, and then they can perpetrate a lot of crimes. They love medical. And the gang members love carpenters. Why? Well, then they can put together your room after they've insanely chopped through. They'll cover up the mess. One of the ugly men that I filmed earlier looks like a Manson reject. He actually was, I was he or somebody in his apartment. The maintenance man, if we kill her, we'll just paint over. So he was offering to do the paint job. It's too late. I want these people exposed even if I die. I want the armed forces to come in. Now, the armed forces in Washington, a lot of them are zombies. I've seen them. SP, like the rest of the zombies. And so you have a lot of ruined Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. They're ruined. And by the way, the bums yesterday were threatening to have, quote, military soldiers come in here, and it's illegal. So they're the black Nazi scumbags, by the way, and the other scum of Bloods and Zetas. They are constantly threatening with flash riots. So the riot would come and come through the building and chop down my door. And they think the more people they get against me, the less they look culpable. But there's a curse to that. So the more destruction they cause, they burn out. Their plan for the world is if they have no food because they've killed off the bees, they'll just breed people to eat them, and they'll have people eating each other, or locks in the time machine most. And they'll be practicing magic, and I hope you're uglier than the Morlocks, cannibals. It doesn't go by where they don't threaten me with cannibalism, or excuse me, there's not a day that doesn't go by. They don't threaten me with cannibalism and drinking blood and eating my spinal fluid, and they try to achieve those results, believe it or not, through the paranormal side. If you think that also will threaten you, they want you, like one of the ass-faced black Nazis, he wanted his dog slobber in me. A couple of the ass-faced white morons or others wanted their dog slobber in me so that they could suck my blood. So many of these people have partaken of cannibalism or cutting people up or body desecration. And they've been attacking chakras and head. See, they don't have their own chakras, their own years, just psychically even, and physically. So the bums want their dog slobbering lips. It's very much part of black Nazi culture. They're in on body desecration, where they like to play with bodies, torture, and they view us in an inhuman way. Well, it's beyond what Hitler did, because they're Satanists. I believe, though, that Hitler was a Satanist. If you get down to it, I think he was a Satanist bitch. And by the way, the black Nazis are very anti-Semitic. And I can't tell you how many times a week they and the other retards are pretending to be Jews. There are Jews, of course, that are involved. In fact, one was involved in the fall with Satan that I personally know. But they pretend to be Jews or Hebrew. They call themselves Hebrews. I've seen some of the dirtiest, most foul hate downtown. It was a bunch of black Nazis dressed up in biblical costumes with hokey-looking scrolls. There are quite a few black Nazi churches that are actually subversive, and they're linking with taking over government. The black Nazis think that if they call themselves government, they are. And these parasites that are, by the way, in general, they actually portray that good or decent people are parasites. And so they will try to take away your money, and they will try to, whether it's an enslavement that's spiritual and paranormal, or whether it's an enslavement that is physical, they'll try to enslave you. Now I have to check about a laundry appointment. I like to wash laundry here because once you stuff out, they had a black Nazi and a white woman. Even if you set a dresser in front of the door, those two were skinny with skinny hips. It actually bragged me that they'd get in, sprinkle your stuff with glass, or touch things with filth hands. These are all retarded people. They like for the whores to talk about things in your apartment with product from the vagina. One retard here, he's he's the one with the housebreaking tools. He bragged that he had put, quote, butt germs in my pepper. He's one. He's very ejaculate. They all are, and there's more than one of them. They're like monkeys, whatever color they are, and they will purposely spread disease and poison. And like I said, they threatened my protein milk. So they basically, for 13 years, if you see me on camera in like Safeway or other stores, I'm basically, it's usually Safeway that I'd go to. I'd shake with fear, and I used to worry about like if there were innocent people in the U.S. I don't think there are anymore, but I would worry because the gang members would threaten not only to poison me, but threaten they would threaten to poison other people. So that's not. I'm not going to worry now because there's no. I'm going to warn people. I'm not going to, cry about Washington's, because they tried to poison me. So I don't have anything to cry over, even if, which there's not going to be an innocent person. But I'm not going to cry over it because I warned you. And where do I get my information and my experiences? And a lot of my experiences, it's a really little secret, it actually matches fine. There was a wonderful article, I think some of it was taken down or compressed or something, and it was about a person who had been gang stalked. There are people, how to protect themselves, what to do. One of my things that I want to do, and I'm going to tell everybody, and I'm going to advertise it just like they've advertised me, I'm going to advertise to rival gangs how to find me, because I'm a honeycomb or like a train station where the Bloods and Zetas, the Blood, Zetas, and Asian street gangs harass and try to harm me. So I'm going to advertise where I go and what I do. That way that the other rival gangs or people that hate the gangs can simply have these people committed and arrested. The best way you could put these people away is not by lying, like, you make up something at the store. I think he had a green shoe on and a red shoe on, but you'd set two red shoes. Especially if you write some key things down, you start taping these bitches. Dr. Jaffe is a gang member. He lives in a house, I think. He's threatened me with slavery. It's a house, and he's got big picture windows, and apparently he threatened me with slavery for his mother. His mother. You can also look up tax records of these people, and you, without stalking them, you know, you're allowed to Pike Place Market and see security guards in action. You're allowed to tape them. It's a public. But what you do, you know, you don't want to just focus on black Nazi scum. You want to tape the whites that are acting. There's a whore playing blah, blah, hotel. Now you're here quite ringingly clear, possibly. She is in a wall. I do not hang out in the hall. Go out there, but see, I think there's crawl space for it. So I threatened them last night, and so says Lisa's and trying to get you, threatening Lisa, when trying to get you. I'm pretty well protected. You simply say Lisa's crazy. You know, here I think it was a voice. I think I beat up one of the voices. I beat up voice. Here it is. It's got tape on it. Can you remove it? They try to, and I knock down or flood their business home or even their vehicle buildings and run them all over, the buildings that is, and let horses out, and they're running down the road. I can call 911 and say, Lisa, and one of the voices. Lisa's crazy. So they'll play a game here. Lisa shouted through the window, and he was trying to do yesterday. Then they'll staff at the front desk. They'll say, "Oh no, you can't hear people with their windows open." But this isn't open window. This is wall. So I'm going to beat up those voices. Crazy. Knock them down. Beat them up. We're trying to run yet another scam plot where, because now there have been times, quite frankly, I was so depressed over with Satan, 6 months. Maybe. And I mourned over the invisibles, the spirits. I mourned over the world. So, whores and books are trying to convert, be carved and raped, eating what they are going to tell me to eat, make me like a retard, and eat there, and the security guard Mongoloid black Nazis. Not that any of them are a prize. And so, am I going to do that? No. You're going to have ATF on you. So, how long do I have to keep this broadcast on? I guess, if I want to make my laundry call. Shall I leave it on live action? Lisa's crazy! Lisa's crazy! Lisa's crazy! What is that? Those are glass particles from my blanket, from things that entered my skin or cut them. Lisa's crazy! Gotta beat up voices. There's somebody around with like a janitor chart. And there's a Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133. They've threatened to secrete my body there. Garage. They've threatened to secrete my body there. They threatened to hold me. They have walls. This is 1507 Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133. This is Unit 329. Lisa's crazy! Lisa's crazy! Water, Lisa. There's nothing in your food. I found fecal on my cookie package here before. Lisa's crazy! So I'm just going to beat up those voices. What do you think? So there's a girl along with Dr. Jaffe. Dirty cop. Dirty cop. Lisa's crazy. I'm going to beat you up if you come in. Because I don't know who you are. Whoever comes in gets beaten up. Why? Well, you'd be an intruder, wouldn't you? We have 132 million people, if you believe it or not. When they fucked around with Psi, they fucked around countries with their own faulty DNA, including the black Nazi. Mix black Nazi shit with white trash and call it Italy or something. They fake it. They're half of you juns, they just pull head. Back and lots of head. Why would they pull head? See, the thing is, if you pull head from your victim, how are they going to defend themselves if you knew it? They're playing lips. Everybody, they like to cause trouble. Like, oh, everybody hates you. Now, how did everybody hate you start? They did. I was rolling around with a cart so they could roll me out in a cart. A shooting plot. Oh, one of the black Nazis had me for my coat. And the dirty cops and dirty security guard wanted me out, scratched poor, and everybody would think that I was a drug addict if I was, and they could follow me around on the bus. At least it on Yahoo or wherever. Oh, she's just. Our Father who art in heaven, thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done as earth is in heaven. Please forgive our trespasses as we forgive those. I'm going to fight you fuckers, and I'm going to call the ATF. You're going to have the ATF called on you. Would you like that? So if you're out there listening, call the... I could start broadcasting these live. Maybe I'll do that. I'll get the live broadcast and get some listeners. It's not just a diary when you do it that way. They're playing World Wants You. You get enough lying bitches that are into Satanism, and they're putting out, she zombie lies, she's Satan, then world. So, you know what? Guess what happens? You get cursed for that lie, and everybody thinks the same of you in regard to the shittiest things you've ever said. They know you're black Nazi shit. You know what I've learned with a lot of these accusations? They're doing exactly what they're playing the whole thing sin. Shut the fuck up, you shitting me out. Shut up, you fucker. You're a fucking retard. They're taunting me over a man who's been dead again for 20 years. Shut the fuck up, you fucking shit-ass retard. Burn in hell. You shit. A lot of these fuckers that 50% of America, and they play to hell and heaven out to heaven. You're not getting. They're playing. They're coming. You ugly hook. You think you're gonna walk after that? I'm gonna take your fucking bitch, and I'm gonna use what I have in here. Crazy. So you dirty fucking hooker. Do you think you're going to walk around with teeth after that? Whatever you do to me, I'm going to do to you. Including at that moment. I'm going to take your teeth out. 5100th Avenue Northeast, Seattle, Washington, 9813. Thy name, the kingdom come, thy will be done. Please forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, for that is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen. The whore is playing same things to me. And she's playing false identity, and there's somebody still rolling. So I'm going to take your fucking teeth out. Kathy Cox is a dirty swine who has lived off of welfare, and her ugly half-black daughter with her same nose, Emily, probably still lives on Burt Gilman Place property with off head. Nothing you can do. They're playing peace officer in pieces. If you fucking come in. You're not a peace officer, dirty slut. You're a dirty whore, white trash. And they're playing head eating and every poison. You're all scummy, white trash, black trash, and other trash. They're playing commit. ATF. If there's anybody listening, call the ATF. You can't go wrong. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Please forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil, for that is kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Judge you. So Judge Dredd thinks he judges. You're not built like Judge Dredd, are you? Shut up, you fucking bitch. Get rid of these voices once for all. I'm gonna fucking get rid of the voices. Come in here, voices are gone. You're playing punishment? How's your ancestors? Bum playing absolutely Lisa's favoritism. Dirty, stinky bitch in his apartment. Chops you up, bitch. Eat your... To have someone taken out via a grocery cart or a laundry cart. He said, I told you we'd finish it. They're playing crock. I woke up. Actually, this started here. The bums got a green-eyed obsession. They spread zombieism to call whites and others devils because they're crazed and moronic and shouldn't even be alive if they have that viewpoint. They called they have a constant obsession over green eyes. Yet if it's somebody in the gang that has green eyes, they'll reward them. At Elizabeth Gregory, what is she wearing? Her name is Rose. She used to work for the city allegedly, and she's just a psychotic hoe now. Takes care of a wrecked husband, and she fights with the police in other counties because they commit crimes, like parking illegally, and her husband used to always drive without a license. Anyway, so what did that whore have on her eyes? Remember in the Bible? A bum retard just took chess. You're not going to finish anybody. And talking to me in a rumbling voice and just makes me know you're a pussy-ass bitch. Give every set of vocal cords of men 2 cords around. Give every Adam's apple to every woman who fucked with me. I'm going to have you men more feminine and you females more masculine. Transsexuals do it. Make the males out of every female hormone. Your slammed up chest, and they're playing blah 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 women that chop up. So a lot of attacks happen as I'm eating. Playing blah blah blah, plus you won't make a noise. What did you guys in the wall? Did you say don't make a noise, ugly shard? Did you say don't? Shit ass bitch. I will, shit tardo. Why don't you go take your liver out? It's about to fall out anyway, fat ugly hump. We can play football with it. I just to her chest because they have their own chakras. So, did you hear how upset one of the hoes got because I told on a black male Let's show you some of the hose that are out there. One of them's out there. This is a psychotic, ugly hose. They just took plant machines and they had bad spirits helping them. Let's rip those back. Go. If they're forced for them, they're dead meat. Sad because I told about someone threatening me. The retardos didn't want me to tell. And see, that's what... See, remember that thing about bullies? They don't want you to tell. Bullies don't want you to tell. Even though everybody's pretty much psychotic in the U.S., I'll have some of them have their own agenda. And even zombies, some of them will act shocked. Oh, like if you say, that man just tried to take my purse and unzip my... Well, some zombies will actually get upset at that. They're playing Western State. It's a dirty black Nazi scumbag. Retardo. Badge me, motherfucker. Call 911. And so, also what they've spread among the zombies, and you notice there's... Oh, there's one of the bastards saying, all of us are going to do your cheeks. You do my cheeks, you try to do my cheeks, I'm going to do yours. So they like to threaten that they're going to do the cheeks, including and a whore's clicking scissors. It's just a smell. She's an ugly dirtbag whore. 3 abortions. You saw judge. They've got or others that are being judged. You can see that the embryos weren't even formed correctly on a lot of them. You can see fetal alcohol. You know, if you say, "Oh, Asians look all like," I can see inferiors, white gangs, the black. I can see if there's an anomaly. How? Well, I'm an artist. And I put some of my photography out. It was those swirly pictures of reflect. I put up a couple jubilant sunflower pictures. My camera wasn't good. So they think they're eating etheric body and getting tough. So let's hear the whores and bums through and then say, open your door and say that. Open and say that. Sure I will, whore. Why not? Told me not to make a noise. That means make noise if they attack me, and lots of it. Staff's up here. If you have to your sheets, they'll help you. Especially if they're concerned that you might have died. So the retarded black, possibly a 5'9" person in height, and with a snub nose. Anything to do with you, cockstade? Think you're powerful? Sitting in the dirt if it weren't for whites and others, pussy man. Ugly. 10 generations of welfare. No language, ugly bitch. Everybody fucking bitch. You're not gonna starve me, you ugly fucking shit ass. I'll have this building shut down, motherfucker. You're not gonna do anything to me, you. Why would I say that? Well, the thing is, if they're normal at all, the shit ass black Nazis to down, and you are shit asses. Bum blew up. So, fucking, excuse my language, the bitch want me to tell on them. So they didn't want me to make any noise. And they're going to secretly starve me in the wall. And they threatened slavery. A whore named Maria that looks like a fly. It's a whore. She's connecting with quite a few disappearances of Americans. And see, a lot of Social Security is set up. If they're considered seriously ill, you might scoot by without a doctor's visit and without a review for 10 years. So that whore is Maria that just shouted out from her window. It's a smelly hooker, and retarded. Dark threatened me. Oh, and one of the retarded black Nazi. The smelly black Nazi and the other mongoloids here actually have connections to dirty hospitals, such as Harborview, that will have one of the black Nazi mongoloids' friends poke a pin in your head so you'll be retarded. Black Nazi mongoloids that are 10 generations of retards on welfare that would have been sitting in the dirt had it not been for Americans and Europeans or British. They they think everybody owes them generations of welfare. We're down to zombie countdown and black Nazi countdown. If you think it's racist, it's not my problem. It's the truth, and I'm not all white. And we're shit asses. Why don't you go sit in the dirty black Nazi mongoloid lovers can go with you. You have your tits dangling down in the dirt. So sophisticated. Quite a few actually would be in the dirt. And remember, a lot of cultures were heavily influenced by this, of course, but there were some cultures everybody could be so illustrious. Like they're going to be a somebody in Mexico that's a king, especially in AMC. Yeah, I'm sorry, Pardo. That so he just a retardo. It sounds like a when I call 111, and you're going to have a gun up your butt because and shot. And these people know I'm saying that they've gun. That's what. Voice to some of the earth. You fucking smelly Nazis made them work, and you shit, and they are shit, and I acknowledge shit. Putting up with your shit. And if I want to fuck yourself. Ugly bitch. Riots, but they've also made that came from police evidence or police action turned in. Possibly police got. But I think mostly that we're going to So they're very upset. I won't go. So they might try to cook up. At least it's causing a disturbance. It's awful whole thing. What I said. And see, she didn't. The whore didn't want me. Insulting. Did you hear her say you're crazy? Nobody in your wall. Did you hear the whore saying there's nobody in your wall? And tear gas. Playing your feet to me. You're going to be wearing a Nazi symbol in his face. Remember, he's just a. I can carve in his face because he's threatened me with that. So I'm going to carve a Nazi symbol in the voice. Stop. Come from. You could actually tell that he came from the jet room direction, at least. That's my guacamole. And he went to his apartment. So that's that ugly little creep possum, which is very fitting for these people. Ugly white thing. Looks like a little ape man. Ape man. Like one of the whites too? Well, have I? I do. But to tell you the truth, the black Nazis and the Hispanic Nazis have such a racist agenda that though I can't get anybody in America protein, and they've done this before, and that's why I'm probably seen shivering on cam when I go to the grocery stores, because I thought there'd be innocent people, and I was worried about people being poisoned. You know, I don't worry about that shit now. They're zombies. Other people here. I don't give a fuck. Just like if they say, oh, if you don't do this, we're going to hit people in Seattle. And I don't, my own, there is no family. Arranged, and I only have a half sister and brother anyway. Half sister, half brother. Don, Michael Tudhope, they're all zombies. They took the fall with Satan. They're Satanists. Anyone who hates me is a Satanist already. And my sister was always terrible to me. She might have given me presents, but her husband were psychologically to me. Sure that my mother would hit me. If he'd like $15,000 sell, so they wanted to pretend it wasn't available. And then I told on them. Boy, my brother got mad. He was beat, and I wouldn't look so violent. It's the last day I saw him. As for contents of the house, there were nice antiques, some of them even possibly museum items that are now gone. They haphazardly without being wrapped. Some of very nice picture sets, and my sister didn't really like antiques, but she was in on selling things on eBay, by the way. And the last time their house sold, it sold, I think, for $1 million. And I've heard different rumors. My brother and brother-in-law, I've been told by gang members that they were involved in water poisonings and skulking around. Somebody's just answering that. So in your water, which may have been started before the fall of Satan. When I say fall with Satan, I'm trying to use you. It's Satan or fell, obviously. So fall with Satan, there's a lot of head that just went out to the left. They just took more head. They're playing guaranteed. I need to plug in my, in case I'm out somewhere. It's cold lately. And remember how the black Nazi security guard take my coat. It's a shitty coat, but I'm going to probably donate it. Somebody needs it, and then I'll get a professional rugged coat. Since I don't really like military, but pretty masculine is okay almost, as long as it doesn't look doofy, like even if it looks strange and because masculine stuff. Well, they just took more head, and it's a retarded black moron. They just took chest and they're playing calipers. So rematch a batch. But, oh, and they just pulled chest. I'm going to show you about anything else. Your every commodity that makes roads and buildings. Believe me, they've done this before. It's not BB. Bernie, if someone makes somebody out of you, it's not good. Because then they'll try to, like, let's say you're a Catholic priest. Then there's some Mormon. Let's just make up, a situation. Make you look like child molesters with maliciously harm your body with 8,000 soldiers. He's mild in comparison with what we've done. So we're going to make little curse dolls out of all these people for the whole universe, or every universe that wants them, and for the rest. And you'll never find them. Make sure it goes to the rival gangs. And have them deliver their own curse dolls against themselves. You're not allowed to do Satanism with them, animals or other beings, and what else? You realize that the U.S. people are probably all Satanists, but you're not allowed to give Satan power, and you're not allowed to me or my favorites. You hurt the curse doll Peter made of. Pulling stuff like every day. So what are you going to do? Sit by and say, oh, I think they hurt me. Are you those voices? You're going to tell people what happened. And in the process, I dropped all political correctness. I will call them retards, and I will call them Lloyds. I'm going to call them what they are. And there's been a different standard in America for over 40 years, 6 years, where you couldn't call black people crazy or stupid. If you're white, you'd be locked up. But you do realize there's a strong anti-Semitic feeling from Nazis and other gang members, and you realize that other people have not had the. You realize that even people of color, some of them haven't had the same amount of protections as Hispanics or Asian. Remember, I'm white. Now let's show how with this. I like to make them panic and take my part of it. I'll sprinkle the doorstep with it. This is crazy. Remember, they come in. So whatever they put in my water, walking in. I put it in the fan, whatever they're putting in my water, and then taunting and tormenting me. It's a fan. Are you saying I'm a terrorist? Lisa's crazy. Even if they think they're careful, I wore guns. Do you know how unintelligent that is? So if they are walking around with radiation, and they transfer it even, they're getting it mailed. That is. So, the fun never ends with radiation. Remember the half-life of radiation? We'll all be dead, and they're walking around with it. What else are they doing with it? They're putting it in people's food. Well, those people are around with it. They're putting it in your water. Millions of years. So then they'll play, we are quarantining you, even if which is a crime, again, because they're not real government. Even if it's a dirty cop, he's not real government. A real FBI agent can't just decide, I'm going to put you in your bed. I called Joe, my buddy. I'm a cop, and we put radiation on Lisa Guthrie. We're going to keep her in the bedroom. The FBI said we could. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And by the way, the dirty cop was talking. I was in the shower to have me arrested. They're all in on the flesh trade, and they're all in on child molesting. And part of the reason they also like to take chakras, aura, flesh, etc., they will try to make people out of the chakras to have sex with, or to do their... I don't think I want to carry the guacamole. So I found, I'm not intimidated, by the way. There are holes in the walls. True. And I have to hide my... Can't transport it. Actually, I have to take a shower with it, so they're not going to kill me with it. I have knives. I should start just throwing away the knives. Anyway, they're toxic. Or no, I could throw them. I shouldn't even have knives in here they can access. It's too dangerous. Come home, here's the security guard. One of the... It's funny, if they clean up your body with your very own bleach and use your plastic bags. And what's in every household that's not like, super vegan? Practically everyone has garbage, and practically everyone buys them themselves. You know, a lot of us, of course. I was a cheapskate for years. I had a nice cottage until things started happening. This is here. She's part of the problem, including the fake cop network. And Nicole Wilkes, that was the manager, and I complained about mold and frost in the windows, and oops. But anyway, remember, I'm a sick person. I have asthma, sensitivities, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, etc. So, what does everybody have? They have gloves. 90% of the households are going to have, 80% might have bleach, DNA, and so they can hide DNA evidence and even stains, some to a certain degree, but it will destroy the DNA. And it might not be mitochondrial DNA, it might be both DNA. Probably both DNA. So you're destroying DNA. So you're destroying evidence. So the gang members, when I was at Burt Gilman Place Apartments, they had a plot about my bleach and my plastic bags. They'll have a plot about, like, I was always taught in my household, not in my mother's household, I mean, not, and, well, your own knives can be used against you. And it's part, and they just blew up head, if you believe that. And lights up all you fucking gang members that have targeted me. Turn the cursor around. No, but even if you were an archangel, which these freaks, they pretend that they are God or archangels or Mary or Jesus. With my chakras, by the way. And none of them have chakras. And they've actually had hokey, cooked up spirits that are like maybe more than two spirits put together with something. This thing came up to the window. It's like, I'm God. You sound like wind. I hate you. Excuse me, I know that you're probably a black Nazi or one of the other. So it's pretty stupid. Got into everything. So I have to turn on my motion going. Let's see, I have to have a mop in with me and water to rinse off with. I'm going to start getting that stuff ready. Apparently I'm not going to iron. The iron could be fully dead. I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, so I'd say, well, what about a water filter? Well, why would you want to filter sewage? What are you going to do with the radiation? I'm going to heat up the, they're playing blah, 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 and they're playing I'm limited to one every. Your oil. They're playing Have You in a Straitjacket as they're hiding in the walls. And remember, skulks around here, not sacrificed him in the tub as he was talking through the wall. Claimed that I sacrificed tonight, which I'm sorry I couldn't help but laugh about. Forgive me for that rash laughter. from the wall skulking to, let's see, they have a trap door in some places. A lot of these dirty cops in Seattle, they specialize in trap doors, and then they can also pretend they're demons and see, because you can carefully score a tile or linoleum floor, breaks open, and there's the monster. And Officer of the Seattle Police Department, the dirty fat shit ass that looks like a sack of chicken excrement, from White Place Market, the LaSalle, and also, what was I going to say? The thing is that anyway, Pike Place Market is also connecting with such crimes. And while I was at the LaSalle, where Officer Bobby and the do extort, I wouldn't let them extort from me, and I wouldn't be a prostitute. So Officer Bobby slammed me into an elevator, and he was taking me down for the security guards to beat up, rape, and torture. Well, there is a swiveling method that I felt under the bed. I also felt a mechanism at Burt Gilman Place. And I was in a cottage, so I think they dug out underneath the cottage. I'm telling you about trapdoors and see what you know on Viral Nova. A lot of symptoms. Well, I was talking about how they had trapdoors, or not trap, the bed that would dump you, and so did Burt Gilman Place apartments. Corners of the rug, let's say they were mining. They call it mining. So let's say they went into your cottage. Under your cottage, and then it's perfectly cut around the edges of the room, so you just fall through. And the rug would basically not hold, because it would be just rug underneath you in a certain area, and so that area might be scored. You might not even notice. And then the scored areas of like 4 would be adequate to get most people in and out. Fat cops, you might need 8 in case. 8 tile squares. When that's 6. Oh, one bum is chanting to come in, because these people are insistent that they're going to live with me too, including the dirty security guard. It might be him, but he's threatening they're going to live with me. The day anyone is living with me, there is no one allowed to live with me, and these are units anyway. And I have no desire for Mongoloids. There's a whore playing Europeans and skids. So she's just threatened Europeans. These are very dangerous people. You need to guard the Homeland Security. And they have threatened Congress. They've threatened, a couple days ago, they threatened FBI. No country, including Japan. They threatened Greece. Well, they threatened... a lot of times they threatened, England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Europe. They've threatened the UK countries, which includes Britain. So they've threatened Australia, and they threatened Canada, of course, which is our nearest neighbor besides Mexico. So they've threatened Europe. I have to blow my nose, sorry. Oops, I found the gang members. Let's curse. And so these people are highly dangerous. And at times when President Obama, by the way, they just blew out head and soul. They think they're going to have another one of me. So it's like they take your soul and they have... And a whore played may blah, blah, blah with me and burn you eternally, along with every black Nazi and burn up all your ancestors permanently. Anyone who likes them. They're playing chest. So they took quite a lot of soul out. They're playing happy with head injured. And a playing privacy. So one of the retardos is chanting about privacy. Why would they chant privacy? Privacy with illegal being broadcast where I'm this or I'm that and I'm doing this, and they're pretending it's an investigation or some kind of documentary, but they don't want anyone telling on their crimes or how they do it, and they're making a lot of trouble. The asshole on the left is getting very agitated, and he just, by the way, blew out my head, if you believe in psychic attacks. An ape thing, you know, or a reject from Manson, he's actually getting quite agitated. I'm not afraid of little men, by the way. You're just a pussy anyway. All of you are. Always got a bigger man in there. Someone's got, well, see, they purposely also, here's a pattern. Because they know I have a temper. When somebody's playing eating you. So they're playing we punish you and to your death. And to the deaths of your ancestors and anyone like you and who likes you. To your deaths. Does that mean they have that length of time? No. It causes your death. And your death is rapidly accelerated. Gotcha. What I was starting to say yesterday, there's a particular herb they don't like. It's called deer's tongue. It has to do with legal matters. Well, we are dealing with legal matters. We're dealing with dirty cops. So, you know, the judicial. But you're also dealing with, see, the Satanists know this, if they're educated at all, that Satan and these bums like to chant legal matters or attorneys or whatever. They're very much into pretending that they have contracts with people. And I'm also talking actual Satan and actual demon, just like you've seen in mooks and movies. Books and movies, Satan has legal rights over you with contracts, including signed by other people portraying themselves as you. So if you have someone's hand, their etheric body, and you're signing, maybe you're mimicking their signatures. So they think they have a legal contract over you. So these bums actually hate the herb deer's tongue. They hate rosemary, if used properly. And I don't pray to any demon God. And then there's Jesus and Mary. I do think of the angels, but when they did the second fall, these people or beings were whipped down. Oh, the motion detector went off due to vibration. There was also a spirit in here. It was a horrific spirit. Most people would go insane if they saw it. People like to take spirits and make them into freaks. So they hate blue vervain. They've tried to make people in history into vampires. So they hate vampires hate blue vervain. And they quote dragons. Nothing to do with animal cruelty. It shouldn't. But these bums will try to do animal cruelty and cannibalism invisibly. Like, let's say you're eating your dinner and they're trying to stick in an autopsy or something. A town in Ireland from the past. That is, they were taught me about that this morning. So these are 6 sadistic bastards. It's like the same premise of, like, all these freaks are sick bastards and they was a nice person. So they taught me, including the spirit world, same premise. You've got child molesters that threatened children at a date. Some of it turned out to be not true. But you get Satanists or just murderers. They'll threaten to hurt somebody that the child knows or that the person says, we're doing this to your bunny. So they, for quite wanted me over my mother, and I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. But after 13 years, not even that, 10 years, you're kind of like, fuck that. I'm just going to go on and start, cursing you fuckers, and I'll do what I want. You're not going to have me gentled, you ugly fucking shit ass. Especially moron, black Nazi, mongoloid bitch. Destroy your ancestors fully, totally, and thoroughly. Black Nazi. or ugly whatever fire. You stinking shit yap. Did I do any shit? You are shit. They just, I call it a blowout, where they try to create a spirit, and then they try to make it ugly, so don't recognize it. So so here come the curse dolls of them. Anyone who's ever attacked, you've got 900 trillion curse dolls a piece out of you, and the animals have them, bitch. Everybody has, and I might even, I think I'll call in for a laundry appointment. We'll see what happens. 1027. Blowout. Oh, and then they're playing generally. And they just did chest, and he's playing blow ups of back and Lisa Mannerly. They'll try to reward themselves as you curse them back. They're playing mentally gosh. So even if you don't believe and you say, oh, she's crazy, I'm telling you what they're doing. I don't believe in paranormal. You don't have to. I'm telling you what they're doing. And they're not going to, a lot of them screwed up the world by false permissions and pretending like they have brain or tissue of you. So then he said suckles in the word me. Suckles and then me. It's a retarded bum. He tried about 3 moves at one after the other. It doesn't mean he's sharp or cute. It means Satan gave him power. You steal one thing and then you start stealing another. So hand, arm, lots of chakra, and then it makes them look like they're magician. Not, they're just a bunch of shit-ass zombies. I'll be back later. Bird in hell. Back. Chops up